Episode 196. HIV positive. Their eyes were locked. His eyes were bright, deep and sharp. Serena felt like she had nowhere to hide in front of him. Quickly looking away, she shook her head. No. Jake pursed his lips and quit asking, driving the car silently. He could tell that she was not in a good mood. If he insisted on getting an answer, it might not end up well. When they arrived at the old house, dinner happened to start. Seeing them from afar, Emma walked up to them with a basin of water. You came back so late. Grandpa was telling me that both of you need to be cleansed and protected. Let me get the bad luck off you with this holy water. God bless. Emma dipped a branch of wormwood into the water and splashed water on them. There were grains and amulets immersed in the water. Jake groaned, knowing how superstitious Grandpa got, but he complied with Emma. Serena, on the other hand, was praying silently. This water would actually ward off whatever evil was following them. After getting splashed by Emma, they walked in. Seeing Serena, Captain Robinson immediately cried, My dear sunshine, why have you lost so much weight? Serena was dazed. Did she? She couldn't help thinking of a typical symptom of AIDS, sudden loss of weight. Grandpa was able to tell that immediately, so she must have lost a ton of weight. She touched her face and glanced at Jake behind her. Nola Robinson's attention was completely on Jake. She said to Captain, Jake is the one who has lost weight. He has been keeping our Serena company in the hospital and working at the same time. Father, no favoritism. Our sunshine is a delicate girl. The boy is very tough. He even survived a fall from the mountain when he was a kid. Serena was shocked. A fall from the mountain? Nola's expression immediately changed on hearing that. Jake walked up and patted his mother on the shoulder. It's fine. It's in the past now. His mother gritted her teeth and said nothing before she turned around and walked inside. Seeing Nola upset, Jake blamed Captain Robinson silently. Knowing that he had said the wrong thing, the captain did not say a word. Serena was so curious that it felt like a cat was scratching her heart. However, feeling the tension, she decided to ask him later. After chatting with Captain Robinson for a while, they went to dinner together. Jake's two brothers, Alex and Keith, were not home, but it seemed that Emma had prepared a lot of food, even though there were not enough people to enjoy it. Nola helped to refill her husband, Carson Robinson's soup bowl first, and then Captain Robinson's and Jake's bowl. Serena was eating quietly. However, unexpectedly, Nola refilled her bowl as well. Serena looked flattered and surprised, gazing at her. Nola looked a bit ashamed. Under Carson's gaze, she had to say, Serena, I was fooled by Lila earlier and thought she was a good girl. Now I know what kind of person she is. I fell into her trap and treated you unfairly. Earlier, I thought her child was really Jake's. After all, there was the DNA test report. However, she could even forge something like that. I did you wrong, my dear girl. Could you forgive me? Serena was startled, looking at Jake for help. He looked at her deeply. Mother is talking to you. Disenchanted, Serena said in a small voice, Mother, I have never blamed you. Nola let out a sigh of relief and laughed. Oh, great. We will have a great future together, and I'm counting on you to give us a grandchild. Serena bowed her head and nodded. After dinner, Captain Robinson gave the spring couplets that he had written and the window paper cuts prepared by Emma and Nola to Jake and said, Don't think you could avoid the chores by coming home late. Go put these up in every room." With a smile, Jake took them over, and Serena also helped. She went to fetch some glue and started to put the paper cuts up. After decorating each room, she felt a bit tired. She felt her health was worsening. If it was in the old days, she would not have felt so tired. It took more than 2 hours to finish the work. Grandpa asked them to stay the night at the old house. She was fine with it, while Jake had some urgent business to take care of and left. She was lying in the bed alone, staring at the ceiling. Nothing happened that night. The next day, Jake had booked the flight to Italy in the afternoon, which was changed to the morning. After having breakfast at home, Serena joined in the final exam. After taking the exams, she felt even more exhausted. A few days later, behind everyone's back, Serena went to a small clinic with good online ratings far away from where she lived. She did not dare to drive there, so she took a taxi. Wearing sunglasses and a hat, she checked in at the infectious disease department. After her blood was taken, she sat outside and waited. "Dr. Parker, are you absolutely sure? Does my son really have AIDS?" It was a woman's broken voice. Judging from the voice, Serena was certain that if the Dr. Parker said yes, the woman would burst into tears immediately. Dr. Parker's voice was small, and Serena could not tell what he was saying. However, the woman immediately cried. "Oh my God! My son is still so young! What should I do?" Very soon, the woman walked out, sobbing in despair. Serena was even more frightened. When it was her turn, she walked inside and sat down opposite the doctor. The nameplate said Andy Parker. Serena felt the name was familiar for some reason. She looked up and saw it was a very young man wearing a pair of metal-framed glasses. His look was a bit ambiguous when he saw her. "Please, take off your sunglasses," said Dr. Parker. Serena took up the sunglasses and revealed her delicate face. Seeing who it was, Dr. Parker arched an eyebrow. "Is it really her?" he thought to himself. Checking her medical record, he asked, "You think you have AIDS?" Serena cringed and nodded. "Why?" "I was very likely raped by an AIDS patient." "Did he use a condom?" "I have no idea." "Are you sure you were raped by him?" The question was so direct. Serena's eyes became red. She shook her head. "I don't know. I was unconscious at that time. When I woke up, my whole body hurt, and I had a terrible fever." "I see. Then you must have AIDS now." Andy Parker threw the medical record away and leaned against the back of his chair. He yawned and said, "The easiest way to get AIDS is from sex. After that, did you have sex with your husband?" Her heart was stabbed. Her tears immediately felt. She shook her head and sobbed. "No?" How did she dare to?